Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Marketing Automation in 2025, the hits, the misses, and the opportunities, sponsored by Act On Software. My name is Rebecca, and I'm part of the production team here at the American Marketing Association. Before we start, I wanted to point out that there is a Q&A box you can put questions into for the Q&A at the end. It'll be open throughout the entire webinar, so don't wait until the end. You can put questions in as you think of them. And of course, you can also participate and network in the chat box. This session will be recorded and available for on-demand viewing right here on this platform. You'll be receiving an email within 24 hours with the link to access the content on demand. Very excited to introduce you to today's speakers from Act On Software, Kat Guyvet, Head of Demand Generation, and Jennifer Blanco, Head of Customer Marketing. Welcome, Kat and Jennifer.
Hey, good morning. Well, good morning here. I'm in Portland, Oregon, so good morning from Portland.
Yep. Hello, great to be here. I'm in Seattle, so it's morning for me as well, but super excited to talk about marketing automation.
All right. Well, looks like, yeah, we'll get into it. We've sort of been introduced there. Just a little bit of background on me, if anybody's curious. Like I said, I'm here in Portland. I've been doing custom marketing for just about 10 years in the SaaS space for now. In my free time, I love to volunteer for the University of Oregon Alumni Association. Go Ducks! Don't know if anybody's a big football or basketball fan out there. But love helping young students kind of journey along in their careers. And I have two small kids who are both home today because it's a snow day here.
That's great. And hi, I'm Kat Guyvet. I have over 12 years of tech marketing experience. I love marketing at the mathematical side and the creative side and combining the two. And then, I love to play tennis. I love to ski and play with my dog, Ruby. So with that, let's kick it off. So marketing automation, it's no longer optional. We know the B2B marketing landscape is extremely competitive, and marketing automation can really give you a leg up. So today we're going to be talking about the hits, the misses, and the opportunities, and we're pulling in some insights and trends from two different research reports. One, Acton partnered with Ascend2. We surveyed over 200 marketing, like half were marketing executives, so C-suite, and the other half were basically directors, VPs, and marketing managers. So we have some great insights there from marketing automation. And then we also did a survey with our Acton customers to really help us identify some trends and some usage. So that will really give you some insight to how you can use marketing automation to increase ROI and up-level your marketing strategy. So with that, we want to hear from you. We're going to start with a poll. Are you planning on investing more resources, so headcount, budget, to marketing automation in 2025 versus 2024? So what do you think, Jen? How do you think people are going to answer this?
Well, I mean, hey, y'all are on this call and webinar joining us today for a reason. So my hope is yes. And I think investment is not always, just like Kat mentioned, it's not always a dollar amount, right? It's maybe giving more resources as far as people. Maybe it's actually diving into the tools that you have in your arsenal today. So maybe it's like advancing something within integration, or actually exploring more of your marketing automation platform. So I'm very optimistic that we're going to have a lot of people saying yes. So Rebecca, how are we looking?
Yeah, we do have an overwhelming yes, 73% say yes, and 27 say no. So definitely an overwhelming yes.
Great.
All right, awesome.
Well, you're so close to our survey results. 75% of companies are planning on investing in more in marketing automation in 2025. So don't get left behind. It really isn't a question of if you're using marketing automation. It's really around how effectively are you leveraging marketing automation in your strategy. So really focus on going beyond the tactics and thinking strategy, as well as embrace digital. We all know digital is important, but marketing automation can really help you scale in reaching your audience online where they are. So, here are some key marketing automation success initiatives that we found from our Ascend2 survey. 75% of marketers are really doubling down on these initiatives. from email to social to personalization to journeys. Marketing automation platforms really help empower you to drive tangible results. And this is this is a reason why we're seeing such a strong investment in marketing automation in 2025. Jen, I think you have some great examples from at least one customer with where.
Yeah, and I think before I get into that, I just wanted to also kind of reiterate. So, looking at this, people are using email. That's almost like a no-brainer, right? If any of you are using more of a traditional ESP and maybe looking to move to a more traditional than marketing automation platform, the reason that you're doing that is email, and over 90 of our percent of our customers are using our platform to send email. So that's definitely in line with this. I think the other two pieces that are really interesting from this survey is the social media management and SMS. Um, I'll get into this a little bit later, but as Kat mentioned previously, so we just ran a survey with our customers asking them what they wanted to do more within our tool in 2025. And social media and SMS were two areas that stood out. And really, I think that people are wanting to do more omni-channel campaigns, right? You want to hit customers or prospects or whoever it is that you're trying to engage with in more than one place. Because if you send one email and expect somebody to do something with it, chances are it's going to fall flat. And so, in order to get any sort of engagement metrics up, you really need to think of the whole omni-channel approach and where are you going to hit these people and how many times in order to get them to take the action that it is that you're looking for. And I think obviously social media is ever changing. Literally in the past month, things have come and gone, right? So that is something that is continually kind of evolving and something that you can't forget about. And then SMS, right? It used to be you want to be top of inbox, top of mind, and not that you still don't want to do that. You still need to do emails, and emails are a huge part of everything that so many of our customers do. It's a huge part of what we do. But hey, we're also all on our phones kind of 24/7, right? And so if you can figure out how to start engaging with people where they are in the moment and when appropriate, that's a huge opportunity to bring into your marketing automation solution
And that's
as
a
well.
great point. I think a lot of people they like to receive content and communications in different ways. So, it could be from text, they could prefer email, and it's important to understand, that individual and where they like to receive that communication. So, great points.
100%. So, I think on the next slide, I actually have sort of what are the top use cases that our customers are using marketing automation for today. And this is something that I thought was really interesting. You'll notice sort of those two numbers on the outside are around nurtures, right? So not only are we nurturing the prospect, so we're trying to get new business, but we're also nurturing our existing customers to try to keep their business and retain business. And that's something that is a goal of mine, obviously, as somebody who's in the customer marketing space. But I imagine it's something that all of you, or maybe most of you, are focused on is retention. And that's really something that's sort of bubbled up in the last couple of years as a priority for many companies. And so marketing automation, while you may think of it more traditionally as something that is trying to feed customers or to feed prospects down the funnel, there's actually an opportunity to do the same thing with your customers and nurture them. So obviously there's opportunities to onboard them successfully and make sure that they're adopting your product or using it however you want it to be. But there's an opportunity to kind of guide them through their journey. So ultimately, you can get your retention numbers up and you end up creating advocates. And the way that you can have success with both of these is that number right there in the middle with personalized outreach. So it's great to see we have 42% of our customers are using Acton for personalized outreach. And this can mean a variety of things, right? We've already been talking about email and personalization. In email is so much more than sending somebody something that says hi first name, right? it's going into what content have they touched? What landing page were they on your website? What case study did they download? What white paper did they download? What webinar did they attend, since we're on a webinar today, right? So you can personalize your content throughout any of these touch points and start to create personalized segments, personalized content that's really going to speak to them where they are in their journey. And when you do that, that's when you start to up level your engagement. That's how marketing automation begins to kind of have all of these light bulbs go off. And that's when that synergy starts to happen and you see success. So hopefully that's getting all of your wheels turning. I think that we have another question to ask here, another poll question. So thinking about, what are things that you're doing today, or what are you not doing today? We would love to know, what's your biggest challenge with marketing automation? For those of you, especially that are maybe looking to invest more, is it integrations? Is it data consistency? Is marketing automation just a behemoth and it seems too complicated? Or do you not have enough resources to do with what you want? And let me tell you, there's no right or wrong answer here. I think our sales team, our account management team has kind of heard everything from existing customers and prospects. And I know from experience that sometimes some of these things can get in the way from bringing on or actually using fully tools that you have today.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. Maybe you want to invest more in marketing automation, but you just don't have the resources to do so.
Yeah. So what are people saying, Rebecca?
Yeah, it looks like we've got a good mix of everything. The most popular one at 39% is not enough resources, followed by data consistency, integrations, and then it's too complicated.
Okay.
Well, none of you are alone. There you go.
Well, in second place to our poll, the map potential is huge. When I say map, I mean marketing automation platforms. Yeah, but there's still challenges. And, our research showed that 44% of marketers stated data quality is the biggest challenge. And to truly leverage marketing automation, this tool and others can be used to address data silos, improved integrations, as Jen had mentioned, as well as, investing in robust analytics. And with that, I'm going to punt it back to Jen. I know she's got a great customer win around using marketing automation with data analytics to
Yeah,
improve
for
results.
sure. And I think, data is one of those things that can be challenging and again, a little bit overwhelming. But we have a customer. The customer is called Holmes Corp. They're actually based out of Minneapolis, where you are, Rebecca. And what they specialize in is they specialize in customized training and certification courses for businesses to purchase and then to up level sort of their teams. And Stephen here is the VP of strategy and analytics, and he loves data, and so it's really fun to talk to him. But what they have is they have all of these training courses that they are selling. And they had noticed that after somebody purchases a training course, the level of completion was really low. And we're talking about some of those challenges today. We know that people are always purchasing with the best of intentions, and then sometimes other priorities come and take place. And so Stephen and his team put together an engagement strategy, and they used advanced segmentation, personalization, and automated programs to actually build out custom messages to go out to people that bought specific training courses or certification courses. And when they started to engage with the customers that purchased these and encourage them to go in and complete their training, or actually send an email saying, hey, you're this far, you have this much further to go, they saw an increase of engagement and completion by over 60% for their first time buyers. So that was a huge win for him. He is super excited to start to do this across way more of their platform and their offering. But it just goes to show that if you start to really hone in on something specific and you have a targeted goal in mind, and again, you use those personalization tactics, that they can really lead to some amazing metrics. And in this case, people are completing their courses, but then they're also going on to start purchasing second courses. So that's how you start to then tie everything back to ROI. So huge win for Steven, and Holmes Corp, and hopefully something that may be inspirational to all of you.
Yeah, what a great example of showing return on investment, right? And so if you invest more in your marketing automation for segmentation and data analytics, you can get an increase of 60%. So fantastic success story. Thanks for sharing.
I think we have a few more slides to get through. There we
Yeah.
go.
So, here are some more of the Ascend to research report results. And, I think the biggest takeaway for me when I look at these stats is many companies are barely scratching the surface of what marketing automation can do. Move beyond the basic with advanced features like journey orchestration, strategy, personalization, identifying your ICP. There's so much more that you can do.
Yeah, so I'd love to share some stats of how our customers are using the tool. And as I mentioned earlier, over 90% of customers are using email. But the other top areas that we have are forms and landing pages, and then automated programs and analytics. And really, I would say email, automated programs, forms, and landing pages, those are all part of marketing automation and what it does at its core, right? And then obviously analytics and reporting is something that you all are incorporating into your everyday, and you have to actually report on any of the campaigns that you're running. But I love to see this. I think that ultimately, the more of any sort of marketing automation tool you can use and take advantage of, the more sophisticated and up-leveled you become, the greater your results are going to be. And by the way, the simpler things are going to be for you too, right? When it comes then to analytics and reporting, what's so great about using a marketing automation platform specifically, in comparison maybe to more traditional ESP, is that you have all these things under one umbrella. So then when you go in to do your analytics and reporting, you don't have to log into all these different tools to then pull the data to dump it into a spreadsheet and try to analyze it. It's actually all there, in the dashboard for you to pull in and analyze yourself. So that's something that's really great to see. And then I have one more slide that I wanted to highlight around customer usage. And again, talking through what people are wanting to do in 2025, and we're talking through hits, misses, and opportunities. I think these are huge opportunities, right? So I already mentioned SMS and social media. Webinars are something that a lot more of our customer base wants to do. And actually, we have a couple of integrations. So to be honest, I'm not sure if that means they're doing webinars outside of our platform or not, but still great to see that there's a lot of interest and engagement, because this is a great channel. Not only is it something that obviously is used for more of the lead gen on the traditional side of things, but I use webinars on a regular basis to engage with our customer base, and do trainings, and it's an opportunity for them to have conversations with our product team and with one another, which is always really great. The other thing that I want to point out here is lead scoring, because that's not necessarily falling into that omni-channel bucket, but lead scoring is something that we probably have about 50% of our customers using today. I would love to see that number go higher, so it's encouraging to see that more customers are interested in this. But one thing that I want to call out specifically, and thinking through, people's saying that resources are a challenge, you don't have to bite off everything all at once. And so thinking through lead scoring, you might get inundated and in your thoughts and kind of spiral and think, well, if I set up lead scoring, then I have to set up everything with my CRM and I have to make sure sales is getting all the information and I have to create custom segments and I have to create all of these nurtures. And yes, those are all best practices and those are all definitely things that should be done, but they don't all have to happen all at the same time, right? And so if you really kind of thinking through opportunities for 2025 and wanting to set yourself up for success, if your goal at the end of the year is to say that you were able to successfully launch lead scoring, you can start. Here we are in mid-February. You can start today and start creating some of the rules and the logic and playing with those and just like set up lead scoring and then see what happens. And then in Q2, it's like, okay, now I have some of the data. Now I want to think about what are the segments that I want to create, right? And then once you have the segments that you want to create, then you can say, okay, here's the content that I need to create. And then you can start creating all of that content, creating all of your emails, creating all of your engagements. And then by Q4, or maybe even in Q3, depending on how quickly you're working, right? You can start creating all of your automations. And then by the end of the year, you have completely launched a new program that you're going to be able to make a huge impact on. So I just like I know even for me sometimes that happens and we all bite off a little more than we can chew because it's really exciting stuff. But just as a reminder, put things in digestible nuggets for yourself so you can achieve really great things by the end of the year. So hopefully that's inspiring too. I'm trying to do lots of inspiration, I guess, as we are here at the beginning of the year. So we have another poll question, um, which is actually this is great because this ties into exactly what we were just talking about, lead scoring and the personalization. So are you creating personalized journey experiences for your customers or prospects in 2025? And that could mean yes, you already have them set up or yes, you are trying to do that going into 2025.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the results from this. I really think that personalized journeys are the cornerstone of, B2B marketing success. So I can't wait to hear how our attendees are answering this question.
Yeah, it looks like we have an overwhelming yes from this one as well. 71% say yes, and 29% say no.
All right, well, give yourselves a pat on the back for everybody that said yes, because that's amazing. And for all of you that said no, that's okay. There's still plenty of time.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear that. Sounds like we've got some, very sophisticated marketing automation marketers here on the webinar. Because this stat is the one that made my jaw drop. Basically, of the 200 plus marketers that we surveyed, only 11 companies are fully automating customer journeys. And as I had mentioned, like this is the cornerstone of B2B marketing and such a huge opportunity to create a hit. I think this is where you can make some significant gains with marketing automation. And there are so many ways to make this easier within your marketing automation platform.
Yeah, I have another customer story that I'd love to share around this. And again, because so many people are doing personalization today, that's amazing. We have a customer, Georgia United Credit Union, and they have multiple products, right, that they're offering, whether it be a credit and checking account, whether it's a home loan or an auto loan. But people are coming into the credit union kind of through all these different channels, and a lot of people come into credit unions through auto loans. That's one of their big things. And so they created a program that was called the Next Best Product. And essentially, what they wanted to do was once somebody came in and started to work with them through a home or auto loan or through a checking account, they wanted to see if there was an opportunity to get them engaged in one of the other products that they had. And so through their Next Best program, they put everybody into an automated campaign with a lot of different logic based off of, if they had one of those offerings, and then would start to say, hey, if you have a checking account with us, you should look into our home and auto loans, or you should refinance with us. And this just continued. So they had logic that said, like, if not this, then this, if not this, then this. And this went through sort of their entire product offering. And they've now had thousands of products that have been cross-sold from this program, that they're able to attribute. And again, it's just a way to personalize, it's a way to customize, and it's a way to showcase that not only are you paying attention, but you have a lot more to offer. And oh, by the way, and as a lot of you probably know, the more that somebody is invested in you, then the longer they're probably going to be a customer in the long run as well. So really big win-win for them. And this program is still running today and continuing to see success.
Yeah. Way to go, Georgia United. Way to hit it out of the park.
Right? So we have one final poll in our presentation today. And yeah, this is a good one. So the question is, what marketing automation 2025 trends excite you the most, and what do you think will make the most impact?
Maybe
And
AI?
spoiler there. Yeah.
I mean, I think you were talking about lead scoring insights earlier, and how the usage is lower than we'd hope, but we feel like it makes significant impact. And AI can really do the heavy lifting here. Of course, you always want to have that human touch, but that's something that I feel like is super exciting. We just actually revisited our lead scoring at the beginning of 2025 and already seeing some great results from that update. But I feel like all of these are really exciting. What do you think, Jen?
I mean, AI is here to stay. So I hope that you are all dabbling in AI a little bit. And if not, I hope that you're not scared. And there's lots of, podcasts and YouTube videos out there to kind of help you along the way. I love the AI sort of generated segmentation. I think segmentation is one of those things that, can be kind of complicated to build. But then also, like, if you don't get it right, then it's not going to deliver on those results. So if you could have a little AI agent making some suggestions to you, I think that that would be awesome.
Yeah.
This is
What are people saying?
Yeah, this is a close race. I let people select more than one as well
Okay.
as an option. So
Nice.
might explain some of the closeness, as people just might be excited about all of them. But people do agree AI generated segmentation is the most popular one at the moment, followed closely by AI next best touch point, AI content generation, and then AI-led scoring insights, but a very close race all around.
Great.
All right. Nice. Well, people are excited about AI. There you go.
AI is nothing new. I would just say that, over the last year or two, it's just rapidly evolving and impacting marketing. And of course, it's rapidly changing marketing automation. From Gen AI content to segmentation and personalization, like we spoke to also like predictive scoring and sales intelligence, as well as like adaptive sending. We were talking earlier about integrated campaigns and meeting your audience where they are online. And that's something that AI can help with adaptive sending, of sending to like wherever they are. Is it a text? Is it an email? Which I think is something like I've been passionate around integrated marketing for so long, and it's just so nice to have AI do the heavy lifting on this. And the other thing, as we're mentioning, AI is rapidly changing marketing automation. I think the biggest thing is it's being integrated into your marketing automation platform. I know Acton, we are integrating many of these different features and capabilities into our platform. So super excited about that. And we all know that this can have some great impact on your return on investment. So with that, don't get left behind. Make sure that you use marketing automation to up-level your strategy, help you with your personalization and developing your journey. And then, like I said, make sure that you're using AI to do the heavy lifting and then add that human touch. Your marketing automation isn't going anywhere. We're investing more in it, and hopefully you can take some key initiatives and some takeaways to really make sure you're not missing out on any opportunities and you're really hitting it out of the park with your marketing automation. Jen, anything to add?
Let's go. I'm excited. I hope all of you are excited too. And yes, like ending on AI, like AI is the future, and AI is something that again is exciting. There's so much happening, and we're continually starting to iterate, and our engineering team is creating like machine learning models and all of that. But in order for AI to work for you, once something launches, you still have to have a lot of the basics set up. So hopefully you are also inspired today to go back and maybe revisit some of your campaigns, create some advanced, segmentation, maybe look at, what is it that you want to achieve in 2025, and can you put it into digestible chunks, and how are you going to get there? But I think, the key thing is personalization is something that also just like really stood out in today's conversation for me, Kat, right? And I think the other thing is it's expected. So I know I said this already, like everybody's expecting and first name personalization, but like in everything we do, we're just getting personalized content served to us, and you want to make sure that you're being able to do that for your prospects and your customer base as well, because otherwise you're going to be left behind. And we
Absolutely.
don't want you to get left behind. That's what this slide said. So there you go.
You want to lead the pack.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the end of the presentation for us. So yeah, go for it. And Rebecca, let us know if there are any questions in the chat.
Yes, there are. I'm just watching people can upvote questions, so I'm kind of watching that come in. But
Nice.
we'll go ahead and get started with this one. What are the most common business problems your clients are using marketing automation for?
Mm.
Oh, well, similar to those use cases that I walked through, right? So the prospect nurtures and the customer nurtures are huge things. I think the other thing that a lot of our customers are using us for is sort of that sales marketing alignment. So making sure that everything that's happening within sort of that marketing silo is shared with the sales team. And for Acton, I mean, yes, shameless plug here. We integrate with all the top CRMs, but then we have a lot of custom integrations too. But making sure that your CRM data is synced with your marketing automation tool is key for that sales marketing alignment.
Awesome. All right. The next question is, what are some pointers for defining a journey automation strategy?
Yeah, I'll take that one. I mean, I think that it's really important to understand the foundation and approach it like you would your marketing strategy. So, of course, what are your goals and objectives? Identifying your personas and your ICPs, and then really taking into consideration their mindset. What are their challenges? Maybe they aren't even aware of certain pain points that could be solved by your software solution. And then really looking at those key touch points and those triggers and how you can meet them where they are. I think those are like the initial steps when you're really looking at your journey. Of course, I could talk about this for a full hour. To be honest, it could be its own webinar, but I just think at a high level, like those are the critical points to think about when you're setting it up.
Yeah, and I mean, again, chime in here and really think about what is the experience that you want your contact to have, right? And what is your end goal? So kind of thinking through that journey, what are all those touch points going to be that are going to lead to the end goal that you want to achieve?
Yeah. And I think just another endless plug like marketing automation can really help you drive those experiences at scale. So be
All
sure to
right.
think about that.
All right. Another question about AI. I believe it came in before our AI poll, but go ahead and ask it. How do you utilize AI within marketing automation? Most companies I've worked with use it selectively in content creation? Are you seeing more advanced AI usage? If so, what?
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
think
oh,
using
go
Gen
for it.
AI for, yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
We're both like, I was super excited to talk about this. Yeah, I mean, I think particularly when you talk about content, using Gen AI for, copy, visuals, video, voiceovers, I think that that is something to you. It's like, it's up to you and your brand. I think there always should be the human touch after the fact, right? So I think it's just more of, how you use your prompts, how do you refine, and then how do you add your special touch, will make it have the most impact. I think within marketing automation, it's just all integrated, right? So, I think like for me, having been a marketer for over 12 years, some of my biggest pain point is there's like all these tools. You have like 15 tools you're supposed to use and they're not integrated. And that's one of the benefits of having like Gen AI integrated into your map is you don't have to shift from one tool to another. So it just makes it faster and more automated. So I'm really excited. Jen,
Yeah, and then
you.
we have a couple AI features that are already launched in our platform, and then a few that are also in the works and going to be out in beta really soon. But we have a tool that's called Adaptive Send that you can actually select to send based off of the optimal time that a person would be opening and engaging with your content. So it looks at all of the contacts engagement metrics and then sends at the optimal time. So that's something that's really cool. We also have AI within our analytics dashboards. So you can actually like do what is the AI terminology, like natural language, and you can do natural language questions within our AI dashboard, and then it'll build reports for you, which for somebody that loves data, but I'm not like a data guru, it's something that's really nice to have. Obviously data is something that's key to everything that we all have to do and have to report on. So that's something that's really helpful as well.
There's so many exciting features that are coming out or are already integrated into our map. I actually just worked on 2 video demos that showcase the benefits and how you can use the AI within Acton. So if anyone's interested, just drop a note into the comment section and I'll make sure that you get access to the video. I think it'll get you really excited about it.
Awesome. Okay, the next question is, what do you personally see as the biggest opportunity in 2025?
Oh man, that's such a loaded question,
Really is.
right? But I have to tell you, like this, I know this, I guess this is like we're supposed to stay on brand here, but for me it's all about AI.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily always AI in the platform, but it's AI within your workflows, right? And I think that I guess the way that you can tie that back to marketing automation and kind of what I was saying earlier is like digest things into like these really small chunks so you can look at the bigger picture. And I think that that's where people are going to start to win with AI. Instead of, you know, going like full steam ahead and trying to get AI to automate like everything for you, break things up into little tasks so you can like really just hone in on a little task and have that test be automated or have AI do that so you can spend more time doing something else. And that'll help you achieve a lot more with less and then give you a lot more time to start iterating on anything that you have within a marketing automation platform or any of the goals that you might have in front of you for 2025.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was originally just I would just say AI, but the more I look at the stats and the results of our surveys and looking at um there's so much more opportunity to leverage marketing automation to drive that ROI. And I think in the past things were so complex, right? And it just seemed overwhelming to tackle and to be able to leverage AI to make it easier, and then using marketing automation to execute at scale and really help you with your strategy. I think the combination of the two, just after our conversation today, is something that I'm most excited about because it really does, it will have so much business impact. And it really does make it easier.
Okay, the next question is, in your opinion, when is a client truly ready to start working with AI and marketing automation?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know if I'm the expert to speak on that. Uh, I will say that even within our customer base, so AI and marketing automation, if we just like separate them out for this question, um, even within our customer base, like there's still a lot of customers that are a little bit skittish on AI, or have maybe corporate mandates because everybody's still trying to figure out sort of legality and data privacy issues and that sort of thing. So even within our own platform, we actually have a toggle that allows you to either turn on AI features or turn off AI features, based off of whatever your corporate mandate is. Then when you think about how do you know if is a client ready to get into marketing automation, um, I think you need to figure out what kind of resources they have today, and what they're willing to do or what they want to do, and sort of if they have a plan. Because we have, sort of all the things that we mentioned plus more that marketing automation can do anything, right? And so again, sometimes it's just like this really daunting thing, and we have customers that come to us and they're like, okay, we're ready for marketing automation. And like they sign on, and then like literally they're still just sending emails with Act On and then maybe running like an automated program or two. And so you really need to think through like, okay, marketing automation can do all these things. Where do I want to start? And so obviously you're going to keep any existing programs running. So most likely it would be email, but then how do you start bringing your omni-channel things in? How do you start doing more? How do you start setting up, lead scoring? How are you going to start setting up nurtures? That sort of thing. So those are the things that I would start to think through. And then obviously it's a resources thing too. And again, people were saying that. But when I talk to customers and I and I say to them, like, why do you only have four automated programs running, or why don't you have lead scoring set up? Like, I know that this would be great for you. Often the customer says to me, I know, and like this is on my list and it's something that I need to get to. We just haven't had time yet. And so that's really the thing, is how you're going to quantify what are the resources, and what are your priorities, again, in order to make sure that you can make that happen in an effective manner.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great approach, Jen. Like one thing that I do just in all of my marketing initiatives, I follow the 70-20-10 rule. So 70% tried and true. I know it's working. Let's leave it alone. Let's keep that engine running. And then 20% is taking what we're doing with the 70 and tweaking so we can optimize and maybe improve and drive more ROI. And then 10% is something brand new, something we've never done before, something outside of the box. And I think if you haven't dabbled in AI and you want to dip your foot in the pool, like I would consider that the 10%. And I think there's two different ways you could look at it, right? It could be something that's a little low risk. It could just be using Gen AI to help you write a LinkedIn post, and compare it to something that your copywriter wrote, and then do an A/B test and see how it performs. Like that could be one way of dipping your foot in the pool. But I also think a great way to test it if you're feeling a little, I would say it's like risk averse, but if it's something that you really want to tackle that's been complex, like lead scoring or segmentation, you could dabble in it. It doesn't mean you actually have to execute on it. But I know, for instance, with AI for segmentation, it can identify, who's more likely to churn, or who's more likely to convert, or different segmentations for different products or solutions. And so that's how I would say to approach it. Don't be nervous. You don't always have to execute on it. It could just give you some analytics and some information you could take action on, or it could be something as simple as, writing a LinkedIn post for you. But don't be afraid, maybe think of it as that 10%.
Yeah, I love the 70-20-10 chat. That's a good breakdown. Also, any tips for you people writing LinkedIn posts in ChatGPT? There's a lot of great tutorials out there on how to make them sound like they're not written from ChatGPT.
Yeah, absolutely. Having managed social media for over 10 years,
Yeah.
It could be a little cumbersome to make it interesting. So it's nice to have something else, just even as like a thought starter, an idea starter to get things rolling.
Yeah, I love that as AI as a thought starter for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. The next question is, what are the best practices for advanced personalization strategies?
Oh man, yeah, come on. Anything and everything can be something that you can personalize on, right? So I think that any data point that you have is something that's actionable. Again, it has to be right for you. So when you think about, again, it doesn't have to be like personalizing a token in an email, but I think that the more advanced personalization comes in your segmentation and maybe like more dynamic content blocks in email or personalization on a landing page based off of a token that you're passing, right? So whether it's, where they are regionally and showing content there, maybe you have an event that's taking place in their time zone or in their region that you want them to attend, so you could target them specifically with that and nobody else would see it. Based on your industry, maybe you have different ICPs. That's your ideal customer profile. Like maybe you have an ICP that you want to target and share different content with. Maybe you have a new ebook or a case study or a white paper that came out that's for a specific use case that you want to send to somebody that's interested in that use case. One of the keys also, I guess, that we haven't talked about with marketing automation is the ability to track people, right? So once somebody's on your website and you know who they are, then you're getting that information. You're able to track based off of UTMs that you send in emails what somebody clicked on your website, so you can follow up. Hey, I saw that you just looked at this case study. Do you have any questions? Hey, I saw that you're a customer and you were looking at this article in our customer knowledge center. Like, do you need help with this? Like anything like that is sort of the advanced ways to use personalization. Uh, the sky's the limit there. So you have to figure out what's right for you and what you have. And I would also say, because you can personalize based off of any data point that you have, doesn't mean that you should. So you don't want to segment so granularly that you have segments that are like 1 to 10 people, right? You want to make sure that you're covering off sort of more on the masses, and then once you have probably gotten a lot out of that and been successful there, then you can get a little bit more granular. Did you want to add
Yeah.
anything there, Kat?
Yeah, I think those are great points. One thing to consider is, yeah, you don't have to personalize everything. And it's also important to think about, like, is this valuable, right? Like, is this personalization improving the experience, or is it more valuable for that individual person? Like, if you know that they're really interested in segmentation and they've, downloaded content, then, you know, drive deeper within that space. But you don't want to get so granular where it's kind of creepy. So I think always consider, like, what's the value behind the personalization.
It's funny you said that because somebody else wrote in the chat, and you want to avoid being creepy in personalization. So it was like word for word exactly what was happening.
I mean, hey,
My
we're a bunch
mind,
of
that's
marketer
scary.
we're a bunch of marketers on this webinar, right? So like nothing's creepy to us.
Yeah, just I
All
did not
right.
read that. You just read my mind, so that's creepy
That's
too.
funny.
Right. And I like clicked over to the chat and I was like, oh my gosh. All right. The next question is, should every member of a Marcom team be on a platform every day like this? Or if not, is there a recommended number of people necessary to successfully utilize this?
That's a great
That's a great
question.
question. There's no right or wrong answer to that. It's obviously based on your needs. For I've sat on teams where I do basically the same job that I am doing today, that we had an entire ops team that was in our marketing automation platform, and I just like handed over my brief and then they built everything out for me, and that was lovely. But on our team today, we not even everybody in the Act On marketing team is in Act On every day. And I use it very regularly, but I'm not in there every day. So it just kind of depends on what your needs are. And you know, if you have teams that are separated by channel, or if you happen to have an ops person that's maybe going in and setting stuff up, if you happen to have anybody in data, like they might need to go in there to look at data, but we also have options to like sync your data. So they may go in there one time to set up the integration, and then they're looking at data somewhere else. So it really depends on what your needs are and what your team dynamic is. Um, and the great thing about Act On is it's a very user friendly. So this is a little bit of a shameless plug here. Sorry. Uh, but you know, you don't need a full ops team, and I guess our team is really evident of that, right? You don't need people that have taken a bunch of certification courses in order to be able to use Act On. Literally, you know, we have members of the demand gen team that have joined our team and sent out an email in the same week. So it's a really, really user friendly. It's set up to make you be successful and to make it so you don't have to get bogged down with getting additional resources, you know, allocated to your budget just to use this platform, but you can go in and do it yourself.
Yeah, and I would say like you don't need consultants. I think it's just the level of sophistication or the different types of capabilities and features of your marketing automation platform. I would say like super users probably are checking on things every day. And as Jen mentioned, like depending on like if your team is more responsible for dedicated channels versus not. So I think, you know, it just really it really revolves around your sophistication, what your needs are, um, you know, and you know, they're super users, and then there's the, you know, I said, you know, our CMO even like goes in there and dabbles. So yeah, I think it's really up to your team. Sorry, I know that's not a very direct answer, but uh use it as you see fit.
Awesome. All right, this next question, I'm trying to remember where it came in on because it's a little topical, but I think it came in on like some of the earlier stat slides, but it was asking for comparisons from the previous year. And it would be like an interesting stat to watch trend and then kind of follow up and ask why. I believe it was talking about something on 7, 8, or 9 of the slides. So use cases, the areas of marketing automation success, and the state of B2B marketing automation.
Yeah, I know this isn't a part of this deck or this webinar presentation, but one of the things that, so we worked with Ascend to pull the, you know, state of B2B marketing automation report. And we had done a research report with them, I think it was 3 to 4 years ago. And one of the stats, and I wish I had pulled it in now, said how many of you are planning to leverage AI in your marketing automation? And the stat was like 10 to 15%. It was insane. And I would say like that's something that was really eye-opening for me. And I think you bring up a really good point. Stay tuned. I think we'll write some type of blog around how some of these trends have evolved over the last couple of years using this report compared to the report we did with Ascend a couple of years ago. But if that person is still on the webinar and they want to give us that specific question around the specific stat, we can speak to it. But that's just the one that off the top of my head is what I remember the most.
Awesome. We'll come back to it. I'll circle back at the end
Yeah.
and see if anything comes in. Cool. We have time for a couple more questions. So
These
we'll
are great questions. Keep them
Yeah.
coming. I love all the questions. I love the engagement.
Yes, so we will move along. These two kind of tie into each other, so I'm just going to combine them. But what are suggestions for moving beyond basic MA functionality and also how to get started? I know we talked about a little bit about that in an earlier question, but worth repeating, I think.
Sure.
I literally have a customer nurture that's called like Act on Basics, and then I have one that's called Act on Next Level. So this is kind of perfect for me. But kind of what we talked through today is setting yourself up for success, right? So there are a few things that are really basic and integral for success with a marketing automation platform. One is linking your CRM, right? So making sure that you're fully integrated with your CRM and honestly fully integrated with any of the other tools in your tech stack, because there's a lot that can be done there and you can create synergies. Once you do that, then it's setting up your email templates or importing your email templates. And again, email is the number one feature that people are using within our marketing automation tool, and the number one thing that we saw in the report as well. So it's making sure that you're setting yourself up for email. And then I think getting past that, right, is making sure that you're looking at the other tools. So it's, hey, we know that people love to do landing pages and forms on those landing pages. And one of the great things with a marketing automation tool, especially when it comes to like landing pages, is that they're hosted by the marketing automation platform. So you can actually, if you have a large team or you have a site team that you work with, you can create landing page templates and then you can easily start building those landing pages on your own and you can manage those so you don't have to, get on the development's calendar for your site team. So that's something that's really huge, right? And that form data is something that's integral, with how you're going to either be hosting events or how you're actually, I think that there's a lot of thoughts probably that you have, Kat, around gated content. There's not as much gated content as there used to be, but those things are really critical. And then for us, where we see the most success and when customers really start to integrate the automated programs. Now, automated programs, again, one of those things that can sound really daunting, but it doesn't have to be. And so you can start with something small. Like you could start with something small. We have something that runs for any new customer. That's like a welcome series, right? We have something that runs after a customer renewals, thanking them for their renewal. So it's little things like that. So automation, yes, it's integral to moving people down the funnel and creating personalized content, but it's also, freeing up time. So you could do something that it used to be a manual task and now it's automated and now you have that time to do something else. So it's really starting with email and then kind of you get to choose your own adventure of where you want to go from there, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think going beyond the basics, we've talked about what's making the most impact, what the return on investment that we're seeing. So I think it was Jen or somebody else on the demand gen team that has said like it's how, can't remember the term, 'cause it was something like how you bite chunks out of an elephant, eating an elephant. And it's kind of a weird
Yeah.
analogy, but it's
How do you eat an elephant or something? Yeah, it's like
yeah, it's just top of mind, but I've totally just
yeah.
messed that up. But I think it's like, we talked about the journey, the personalization, integrating AI and taking those little steps to, and segmentation, like taking those little steps to go beyond email, because if you're only using automation for email, you're really just,
Good point. Yeah.
you're really utilizing the platform at such a low level, and there's so much more opportunity for you to, like we said, the hits. And so you don't have to do everything at once, but definitely go beyond just your email and your email automation. There's integrated campaign, segmentation, personalization, like, and then data and analytics. Like, don't forget that. Use that part of the tool.
All right. I think we'll have one more time. One more. Oh my gosh, English is so hard today. Excuse me. We have time for one more question. I saw it a couple times, and I think we've touched on it a little bit, but do you offer training, certifications, webinars, etc.? And I'm also happy to drop in. I went on your website and I'm happy to drop in a link to that page. I believe there's like a learn tab.
Yeah. So we have a fully integrated onboarding team. So anytime we have a new customer, they go through onboarding and training for our new customer, making sure that they're set up for success. We also have CSMs that are dedicated to any one of our accounts that make sure that you have a point of contact in a true product expert that's going to kind of continue to make sure that you're successful. Then we have a knowledge base. It's called Act on Connect. I think that a lot of it is available for public consumption, and then there's some stuff that like you have to be logged in to see. But we do offer a lot of different training, sort of like tutorials there on really specific parts of the platform. So not like an overarching thing, but really starting to get into the meat and potatoes of like if you want to dive into segmentation, you can take some courses on segmentation. So we have all of that. We have live demos, as Kat mentioned, that we go in and do like live demos of the product. And then as far as supporting customers with webinars and training and that sort of thing for any ongoing products, we do those regularly. So as the head of customer marketing, I'm setting those up, making sure that we are engaging in our customers in order for them to be successful. Adoption is one of the key metrics that I have. So making sure that we're showcasing all of our new features in order for them to get adopted and used by our customer base as well.
Yeah, and a big shout out to our CSMs. Anytime I've heard a customer speak or I'm reviewing a customer success story, it is a constant call out that they're like a partner, like a human extension of support, right? And so
True.
it is beyond like a chat bot. It is like they want to help you succeed. So if you have a one-off question, they're amazing partners and really dedicated.
Yeah,
So
they're awesome.
Yeah.
that is all the time that we have. Just to follow up, that person never came back around.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clear that up before we wrap up. But thank you, Kat and Jennifer, for the presentation and for being here with us today. And thanks to Act On Software for sponsoring this webinar. As a reminder, the session will be available on demand, and you'll be receiving a link to the on-demand content within 24 hours. I'll also include some of those resources that I was dropping in the chat in that email as well, just so it's all in one place for you. And before you go, I'd like to draw your attention to the session survey now available, and we'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.
Yeah. Thanks for attending, and thanks, Rebecca. It was super fun. Great
Yeah,
question.
100% agree. Thanks so much. Have a good one.